People doesn't like photos here. People doesn't like videos.
Okay, I will ask them. If they don't like, I will go.
This is where I live, so I'm trying to tell you what is going on here. That's my school right here.
Okay.
So when you come here, you need to respect our culture. You come to the
I have no disrespect to your culture, bro.
These are some of the most critical examples why a lot of Black Americans choose not to come to Africa. Let me just be honest with you guys. A lot of Black Americans love us Africans, but the problem is that Africans have, in one way or the other, proved to Black Americans that Black Americans do not belong to us. Do you get? And I don't know why they are doing that, because as far as I'm concerned, all of these things shouldn't be the way it is. For me, if I should see a Black American person coming to Nigeria, or I eventually come in contact with that Black American person, honestly, that person will never regret the stay. He or she will stay in Africa. Now, this is not me saying that every single African countries are always giving Black Americans bad news or stuff like that. But there are some kind of examples that at the end of the day, if you see it online, coming to Africa as a Black American person will not be in your budget list. These are places that Black Americans should be loving, should want to come to. But because of their awful experience and how they are being treated, how a lot of things have literally gone sour, they will literally not wish to come to Africa. Now, I have this particular woman that I've done her video before, where she literally talked about what she literally experienced coming to Africa as a Black American woman, where they literally how do I even put it? Where they literally overcharged her on every single thing. It's just a whole lot. But anyways, I don't want to go into more details. Just watch this clip I have for you guys so that you guys can also watch. And please, Black Americans, I'm not pulling out these particular clips to discourage you, right? I'm not saying you should not come to Africa, but I'm just bringing out this for educational purposes, and I have a lot of things I'm going to be saying at the end of this video. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And yes, guys, with that being said, let's go roll out the clips, and I will be back with commentaries. Educational purposes only. Let's go watch.
A Black American man moves to Africa to escape white supremacy, only to experience African supremacy.
Y'all taking advantage of people out on the street. Look, they all in my bag, they searching me. But they ain't gonna stop a white and a Chinese person. This dude right here, he a little rude. He a little rude right here. But this dude right here, look at him. He going crazy.
So in Africa, you can't throw the race card as a Black American. Are you serious? So in Africa, you can't sue the African police because they don't have no money as a Black American. So in Africa, you can't even shine awareness on the situation that you're being singled out as a Black American being harassed by African police. They're not going to give no spotlight to that. And who cares if they treat the Chinese and the white people better than you as a Black American in Africa? No one cares because it's Africa. It seems like you have more rights in America as a Black American than as a Black American in Africa. Think about that.
Peace, y'all. So I'm sitting here just really reading all of these comments, and I am just appalled. Honestly, I feel like this is what y'all wanted. This is what y'all wanted. And I'm just being honest. I'm just being transparent about my experience here. I've been here for just about a year now, and there has been a love-hate relationship. Honestly, I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. I love Ghana because of the peace that it can bring you. You know, I love Ghanaians in general. I think you guys are some of the sweetest, most genuine people I've ever met. But ever since I started traveling back and forth to Africa, I was hit with so much hate about how cursed this continent was, and how basically, I mean, everything from the poverty to the witchcraft to the lack of integrity to all of these things. And the biggest thing that I picked up the most since I've been here is that y'all don't want nobody coming over here building up Ghana. You know, I feel as though when somebody comes over here optimistic, and I'm naturally a very optimistic person, you guys tarnish your own country. Honestly. And it's really sad because I definitely feel like this curse has been perpetuated and placed on the country by its own people. I remember when I first got in the car on the way to my new home here in Ghana, and a driver told me that Ghanaians are wicked. He flat out said that about his own people. He said, I don't even trust my own family. Ghanaians are wicked. And I couldn't believe it. I remember before I left, I had a Nigerian friend who thought I had lost my marbles because I wanted to move to the motherland. And he told me, Africa killed my father. The witchcraft killed my father. And I just couldn't believe the hate that people have about their own land. But now I see. My eyes is open, love. You guys have completely given up on your country. You've given up on your community. And honestly, it's a sad, sad thing to witness. And it's sad. It's very, very sad. So, you know what? I have nothing left to say about any type of ideas about investing in Ghana. And I'm just speaking for Ghana because Ghana is the only African country that I've lived in long term. I have nothing else to say because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. You have so many people sliding in my DMs saying horrific things because I was enjoying my peace in Ghana. But now that I am open to exploring the possibilities that Ghana may not be the place that I would want to invest in anymore because of X, Y, and Z, I'm getting hate for it now. From the same very people who curse their own country every day and curse their own family members. It is sick. It is absolutely sick.
Some of these YouTubers need to stop telling people to come to Africa. The locals coordinated because they noticed our movement. So they were watching the videos and they were aware of the trend to come to Africa for African Americans. And so they raised the price on housing and on everything, business services, everything. I mean, they moved in an organized way. I don't think a lot of people realize that about what happened in this movement. I don't want to say failed movement because some people made it work. I'll just kind of go on a tangent and say, I don't think everyone should come to Africa. I don't think every African American should come to Africa. The amount of corruption and bribery needed just to register a business. We're talking $10,000 land surveys for 5 acres. We're talking $6,000 business registration process. And the sad thing is some people were happy. They were agreeing with it. They were finally free to be how they were. So when you went into government offices, there was a very different energy. There was this, I'm going to cheat you and you're going to like it energy. And we all felt it. And you couldn't say anything about it. There was a lot going on in those offices. I've gotten into trouble in those offices for calling out certain things, calling out corruption. I've been in trouble for that. I don't know if some of you who know me know that I've been in a Tanzanian jail 3 times because of certain things. One was firing somebody who didn't want to work. Another one was you just can't call out corruption. You got to act like it doesn't exist and play some mind game, and that's not how some people operate. That's compromising. It's a fine line, and it's a tiptoe eggshell sort of dance you have to do there, and I don't think a lot of people want to do that. I fell into the trap of thinking that it was, my job to stay and push and push and push and push against something that was done. And I poured more time and more energy and more resources into projects that were not going to succeed at that point. I made the mistake of feeling obligated to something that no longer had the favor of God on it. And unfortunately, many others made the same mistake.
Because I've seen people lose their whole life savings coming over here. They don't play by the same rules that we play by in the U.S.
Crazy. So apparently the people who sold the land to him are saying his lease is up, but we all know he hasn't been here for as long as they're saying. They're saying 50 years is up, but we know he hasn't been here for 50 years. And people are here looting it.
And look, they're trying to steal our roofs and the sidings and stuff.
So what, they just turned up, no notice?
This morning they turned up. I wasn't here early when they turned up.
Right.
Our people were cooking in the kitchen. They turned the electric off, and then they started dismantling the building.
Wow.
They took the grates, that building right there.
Yeah. That one, yeah.
The building right here that's destroyed right here.
Yeah.
I just heard when I was in Cape that somebody put it on our site that that building was still, I have pictures of that building, it was still up. But they had taken all the windows out, all the doors out, and the grates, the security grates. That was the only building we had that was secure. That building back there behind the water tanks is the kitchen. So they were preparing food there this morning for the lunch that we do every day. There's a vegan restaurant that people order food from and come and pick it up here. And that's how I found out what was going on.
Oh,
I called to order some food, and that's when they told me they shut down everything.
Oh my gosh.
And
how are you still standing? You're impressive.
How
are you still standing?
Oh, well, we have to be strong in situations
oh
like
my
this.
gosh.
That's a brand new light pole they turned down right there. That light pole just got put in.
They're going to pay for all that, bro.
All that new wood and all that shit we just got you put in this spot.
Yeah.
Now they got the scavengers, all these that feed the fish and sharks over here. That's what they're in trouble, man.
Yeah, they're going to pay for all of that. Yeah, they're going to pay for all of that.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? I am here with another video that came up in my algorithm that was very, very fascinating. We all know Black Americans, particularly Pan-Africanists, is looking to relocate back to Africa, mainly Ghana. But we've seen these stories where a lot of our people are getting scammed. It doesn't matter what country they go to. We've seen a whole scam of Black Americans being scammed out of $500,000 of some imaginary land. But this story is nothing new. A lot of Black Americans go back to Africa, particularly Ghana, and they have become a scam. Their land has been getting taken. Land has been triple sold, lease. I mean, the list goes on and on. But this one particular story that I watched, it was sad. Now, when you guys get into this video, I just want to let you know that the guy on the screen here is Guyanese American. And it's not even about, we know he's not Black American. It is about the story behind it and the issue that anybody that's trying to relocate back to Ghana, how they get scammed. And it's really, really sad because a lot of our people are clueless as to how these countries work and how they are basically lawless. I mean, he goes into detail about just in depth. And the crazy thing is, he's really trying to provide a place for people to come that's comfortable. And you can't knock the man for that. And the fact is the jealousy and the envy for people coming back to Ghana. Obviously, they think he's African American. They named the title of the video African American, get scammed in Ghana, whatever. But it's like, we already know these people come to America, identify us, whatever. But that's not the point of this video. I want you to listen to his story, and I want you to spread the word. Like, Pan-Africanism and picking up and moving to these countries is not as easy as you think. And it is just so sad that time after time, Black Americans are being scammed. These people don't come from countries that have any rules and regulations. And Black Americans go over here with this open heart. I do not understand why we have this open trust for strangers. We don't even have this type of trust amongst our own people that we know. There are Black Americans that don't even trust their own family members that they know the way they trust these Africans, especially in Ghana. And they're constantly getting scammed, running off with the money, poor craftsmanship when it comes to building. The list goes on and on. We really have to wake up and realize that Africa is not our home. We're not from there. And if you're going to relocate to these countries, you need to take off your Pan-African hat and put on your thinking cap and act like you got some common sense and approach the situation with business. You need to stand on business. If you want to build there, if you want to do business there, you have to step aside and say, oh, these people are melanated like me, therefore they're not going to scam me. Oh, I'm coming back, quote unquote, to my home, so they're not going to scam me. No, do business with them like you would do business anywhere else. I don't understand why we let our guard down. But guys, I'm going to get into this video.
So my name is Marvin Walker. I am a Guyanese American that left Guyana when I was 5, moved to America. And, you know, I've had several ventures in the U.S. I was in the music industry. I was in medical logistics. And then I came to Ghana in 2018, October of 2018, for my first visit. And then by February 19th of 2019, I've been living in Ghana. So came here, was doing medical logistics, had some contracts that didn't quite work out. And then I got into real estate development. I wanted to fill the void for the diasporas who are moving here that have a certain expectation when it comes to their real estate, kind of like you, exactly what we're doing, making it easy for our people to come home. So that's a little bit about me, high level, right? Yeah, I want to, you know, this is a public service announcement. This is not to scare anybody from coming to Ghana, but these are the challenges because it's new. The Great Migration is happening. So, you know, we're going through some things. But the most recent thing that happened to me, which was really shocking and disappointing for me, was I had a police chief here, you know, arrest me and tell some lies so that I would get arrested in a court. And it was shocking because he was making statements under oath that, you know, I'm a flight risk. I don't live here on an island. I mean, I have millions of dollars worth of real estate here. And he's saying that I don't live on an island. And he caused the judge to arrest me because, you know, some people here, they see us and they think we have money and they want to extort us, right? So he kept calling me, like asking me for money because, you know, when I fire a contractor, if they do a bad job, and if I don't pay them till the job is complete, they go to the police and they say, hey, Mr. Walker threatened to blow my brains out. When it's the other way around, they are the ones always threatening us. Like I've been threatened by the people I bought the land from to break my house down. But those things are not as serious as what this police chief did. You know, so, you know, he kept calling me because we took the withholding tax from one of our contractors.
All right, so let's get the story really straight.
Yeah.
How did it all started? The contractor reported you to the police.
Yes. So I paid the contractor to do some work, and he had spent some time in the U.S., so he was referred to me by somebody I respected. So first he said, give me 60% of the money. I gave him the 60%. After getting the 60% of the money, he kept delaying to come to the job and getting started. And I said, hey, bro, what's the problem? Like, why are you not coming? I'm on timelines. And he was like, well, you know, materials is short. You know, if I had the rest of the money, then, you know, I could get it done fast. And because he came through somebody I respected, I gave him 100% of the money, right? Thinking that he would go buy the materials and then the process would go much faster. Well, that's not what happened. You know that if you give contractors here the money, sometimes they'll take the money and run. And so he kept delaying. And then he finally got a job that should have took 2 to 3 weeks done. He got it done in like 9 weeks. So I was, you know, obviously aggravated with that. So I fired him. And my engineer at the time said, look, the materials are here on site. Let's give him another chance. So I said, you know, after rebuting that for about, 6 times. I said, all right, but this time, since I paid him for 50% of the house, 100%, he got to do the other 50%. And once he's finished, then I'll pay him. And everybody agreed. So he did about 3 houses, and then he came, oh, I want the money for the new houses that he was doing. And I said, no, we had an agreement that you'll finish it, and that's when I pay you. Because last time when I gave you 100% of the money, you took forever. So because I wouldn't pay him, he went to the police and told the police chief that I threatened to blow his brains out.
Okay.
So the police kept calling me, and I said, listen, don't call me with this nonsense. Call my lawyer. And they kept telling me if I didn't come, they'll put a warrant out for my arrest. So I went. And my lawyer came and met with us there. And so they found out that it wasn't that I threatened him. He just wanted me to pay him, even though the job wasn't completed. And I told him, no, I'll pay him when the job is completed. So once the job was finally completed, we paid him as agreed, but we deducted the 7.5% withholding tax for contractors who are not employees of mine. Okay. Now, I've created almost 200 jobs. I employ almost 200 people out here.
You're doing an amazing job down there.
That's what I thought. So I thought that they would support me more than this guy. But I also hire contractors. So you have to deduct the withholding tax to pay to the government. So I guess in order to get the police to put pressure on me to pay him in advance, he went and promised to.
In a perfect kumbaya world, this probably would be the case where Black Americans would be shipped off to West Africa, and the people of West African countries would welcome us with open arms, and we would just be developing and growing and building together, and the advancement would go on to steroids, and everybody would live happily ever after. But history shows much different. Usually when you have two different groups that are kind of thrown into the mix together, there's almost always some type of conflict. You have the people who are already at that land and who've already been living the way they've been living. And then you got this other big, massive group of people coming over, and they're going to be trying to change things because they're not going to want to live the way that most people in West Africa live. So Black Americans will be labeled as colonizers, because we will be trying to make it more like what we're used to. We're not going to want to live with no electricity and no running water. We're going to want to build up all of that because that's how we're going to want to live. We're not going to want to go over there and live how they live, right? Rather for if it's by force or if it's by choice. So that's going to create conflict, and you're going to have people who are going to have pushback. There's going to be people who might be envious. And then like another one of my comments said, it would create like a Gaza-Israel situation where people are going to be fighting over land. And whoever has the strongest military power is the one who's going to win the power over the land. I mean, realistically speaking, civil wars happen all the time, but between ethnic groups, tribal groups, ethnic cleansings have happened throughout history. There's nothing that could be stopping them from doing that to us if we was to go over there. And who's going to protect us? Who's going to save us? We got to go over. If we go over there, we got to play by their rules. We're not going to be saved by any American laws or any worldwide laws. No, you're going to have to play by the rules of their land. And that's not going to be in our favor. I mean, you already got Black Americans over there trying to build up some shit and having their stuff like either like taken over or taken back or built over, like, and there's nothing that they can do about it because once again, you got to play by their rules. And a lot of them don't really have no real laws set in place. So it's kind of like anything goes. Is that what you would really want? I mean, realistically speaking, really think about that.
Anyways, welcome back, and that's all I got for this particular clip. And I'm not going to be saying every single clip I'm seeing here they're absolutely lying, but let me put this out first. There are people as well that are literally in Africa as Black Americans that are enjoying their stay. Like I said, I have a Black American woman currently staying in Nigeria with her 2 kids in Nigeria. She's living comfortable. She do her nightclub life. She go to places without having any risk. In fact, I've literally been able to ask her, wouldn't you love to go back to America? And she would tell me, no, I love it here in Nigeria. That the only problem that she know that we do have here is the fact that we do not have constant lights. And secondly, security is not that strong. So there are different reasons why a lot of Black Americans will literally tell you they do not want to come to Africa. Now, one of the major country, and that is why I actually stitch most of the videos I saw online because I didn't see about other countries, right? So one of the major country that a lot of people complain about, especially when they are there, is Ghana. And you can see from the comment section, there are some Ghana people that were literally apologizing, especially from the first clip that I realized, where they were literally apologizing in the comment section that these are not the ways Ghanaians behave. Because let me tell you guys, my husband has stayed in Ghana for 4 good years because he played football, right? And he has stayed in Ghana for 4 good years, but every single thing he will literally tell you is Ghana people are nice, Ghana people are this, Ghana people are that. But he will still tell you that there are some of them as well that are not even so much comfortable with him coming as an African. He's also an African. Imagine a Nigerian, right? And Nigeria and Ghana are like brothers and sisters. But still, there are still some people that are not really vibing with him that much before he relocated to another country and then to Nigeria. So it's a whole lot. A lot of people have bad experience. A lot of people have good experience. But I am going to be saying this, if you're watching, especially as an African person, right? Can we just learn to normalize doing good to Black Americans especially? Can we normalize doing good? Can we normalize making them feel comfortable when they're around us? Can we normalize not overcharging them? Can we normalize not putting bills on them when they are not supposed, all in the name of they're in Africa? And why I'm saying this is because that same one of my women that I told the guys that she is in Africa right now, like she's in Nigeria right now, she's residing in Nigeria. I think there was a time she has literally complained that whenever people hear her accent, whenever they hear her speak, they find out that she is actually not from this country. They want to overcharge her, they want to overbill her, they want to like maybe create something. Do you get? And at the end of the day, because she know who she is and she has studied the environment, she fell for it the first time she came in, but now she is now adjusting to the system of you can't overcharge me. In fact, before she go to any place, literally, she'll first of all ask, how much is this thing being charged and how much is it? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So can we normalize as Africans making Black Americans feel comfortable in any African country that they choose to come to? A lot of you guys have literally been crying, Black Americans, why did you remove African Americans from your name? Why are you people now calling yourself foundational Black Americans? Why are you people now calling yourself indigenous American, forgetting that this is actually your root? A lot of you guys have been crying that, but you've been crying that just online. You don't cry that on streets when you see people overcharging Black Americans or you see police harass. Like, not for the video content sake, I cannot walk past and just see police in Nigeria harassing Black Americans. The moment I hear the accents, the moment I hear you speak, and maybe I probably go close and I ask you, you say you're a Black American person, I'm going to stood for you. I'm going to ask, I'm going to make sure, because I know that you cannot just come to another man's country and create problem. Do you get? So I don't know if we as Africans can actually normalize that. That will actually help a long way. These people have had so many bad experiences. I can tell you for a whole fact. When it comes to the witchcraft of what they are talking about, oh, this person killed I cannot argue it because it's what is happening that we've been seeing in Africa. But in all of that, Africa is still a good place. If you want to come explore, if you want to come see, if you want to come visit, honestly, try Nigeria and let me know in my DM that I am coming to Nigeria so that I will tour you by myself. I will take you to places that you will not get upset, that nobody's going to overcharge you. Do you get? That is the kind of love I have for Black Americans. Do you get my point? Anyways, but let me know what you think in the comment section about every single thing that you've seen in this video. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And guys, I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing my videos, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be Simba and I'll see you guys in my next one. Let's just keep pushing love to one another. Let's unite with one another. Let's not keep fighting. Let's not keep doing things because at the end of the day, they are Black Americans, I'm African. We are one, right? We look alike. Do you get? That's the point where I stand for. I don't care if Black Americans say they want to be known as foundational Black Americans, they want to be known as indigenous. I really do not care. We are still one. In all, like, there is, you cannot put a Black person and a white person and you expect me to choose a white person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bye for now, guys. I love you guys. Mwah.